Guys, it's Jen. This is another Jen is Zen episode of Reframing Me, and I'm your host, Dr. Jennifer Brubaker. Wait, I don't think I usually say all of that on these. I guess it's been so long with the holidays that I forget, but I don't think I say the Dr. Jennifer Brubaker part. So do I typically not identify myself? Because I don't think that sounds right either. Anyway, I feel like I have established who I am enough for today. I do know that Jen is Zen are the short bits where I give you something to meditate on or journal about. And today, I'd like you to think about this. What's the life that you want? If you suspend your disbelief and you take away the doubts and the excuses and the narratives that are in your head telling you otherwise, what is the life that you want? If you were given that life right now, how would you feel? What would you do? How grateful would you be for that life? And then I guess the hardest question of all, are you that grateful for your current life? You can probably sense a theme with me lately, right? I'm all about the gratitude. I do think I mentioned in our last episode that I have been reading the book The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, and I have been listening to a book club off of that Law of Attraction Changed My Life podcast that I know I've told y'all about that I love. And I've been going through the 28-day practice that's comes from the book, and I am here at day 14 today. And so I am right in the thick of it. And I know I definitely could be immersed in a worse thick of something than gratitude. It's awesome. I highly recommend reading it, doing the practice. It truly makes you feel differently and it makes you look at the world differently. The main part of it is that every morning you write out 10 things that you are grateful for and why. So, like, I am grateful for my laptop because it allows me to teach my classes and to write and record and connect with people, all from a piece of equipment that I can take with me anywhere. And I know you're probably like, really? Your laptop? Okay, because I feel like you probably have something bigger, like your kids or your husband or your health or, any of the big ones. But you need to remember it's day 14 and you are not supposed to repeat your gratitude list. So that list of 10 things, the day oneers, well, those are quite different from the day 14ers. But that is the magical part, right? Like the part that makes you feel quite so immersed in gratitude. Because once you cover all the basics, you really do need to start looking at the world and at your life differently in order to come up with what to say. Especially because you're supposed to do it first thing in the morning. And maybe yours, like mine, your brain isn't quite turned on so much yet. But it gives me the opportunity to actually notice the things that I totally otherwise would take for granted, like my laptop or my car. Like, what if I had to rely on other people to take me places or on public transportation? Because in Wilmington, walking places or biking or even taking public transportation isn't really an option. How hard would my life be without my car? And how much do I just take it for granted every time I get in it? Or my knees. Okay. I am often in these lists. I am grateful for my knees or waking up without pain. To be able to run and even just move around without pain is truly something to be grateful for that otherwise I would just accept without paying any attention to it. I have given thanks in many different ways over these last 14 days for waking up healthy or pain-free because typically, I don't know about y'all, but otherwise it's something that kind of slips under the radar for me unless it hurts or I'm sick, right? Like after I've had knee issues for a while and like in the past, I wasn't able to run because of it. When I was able to run again, then I was grateful for my knee not hurting. It's a lot easier and more common to scan your body for the parts that hurt and just kind of gloss over the parts that don't, right? Isn't that what you always hear about things like your health and your youth or your relationships? You don't appreciate what you had until you don't have it anymore. And I think we all realize this if we think about it, but just day to day, it gets lost and we end up taking it all for granted. Just like I know that when I have been without my car for a day or two, well, then I get it back and I'm like, wow, that was really a pain. I am so grateful to have my car again. But then I go back to taking it for granted. And like, it's so cold in Wilmington right now, y'all. And if not for this practice, I do guarantee that I would not be thinking about how grateful I am for our HVAC system or for my warm blankets. I don't think I've ever said it before with like pure gratitude, unless, of course, it had been broken and I was without, and then it was fixed. So I really love this flood of gratitude that I'm feeling because of this daily practice. I know I've told y'all, I don't know, maybe a couple of months back, I told y'all about these boys that my son had gotten to be very good friends with at UNCW. And they're both from Ghana. And one of them had the opportunity to go back to Ghana for Christmas break, for the holiday break. And I've been messaging with him. He's been sending me pictures and videos of his mom and his siblings and the sweetest little videos of them thanking me and trying out their English and asking me how I am, and him interpreting messages from them telling me thank you for helping to take care of him and for treating him like we do. And it just, honestly, I mean, it really makes me, and I'm sure it would have been otherwise, but especially because of being in the middle of this practice, like to feel gratitude for what I have, for feeling gratitude for the opportunities that I've been given and the life that I have, and looking at his mom and knowing she is putting him on a plane today and sending him halfway around the world. She hadn't seen him in 3 years prior because he's here trying to make a better life for himself and for his family, and coming to a place that can't be probably any more different than where he is from and what he knows. And it's just, I mean, it's amazing. It's just beautiful to see and to feel and to think about. And so I think that I have probably, because of this flood of gratitude, I'm grateful, I guess, that I am able to see situations and feel them differently because of it. So now this prompt today, I've had on my list for a minute now, but I guess I've been saving it kind of. So, all right, what's the life that you want? If you suspend your disbelief and you take away the doubts and the excuses and the narratives that are in your head that are telling you otherwise, what is it in life that you want? Design it out. Where would you be living and what would you be doing? What accomplishments would you have? What relationships do you have? I don't care if it's totally unrealistic. That's fine. That's the suspend your disbelief part of it. I mean, in my vision of the life that I want, when I answer these questions, one of the things is I get 1 million downloads of the podcast each week. 1 million. Do you want to know where I'm at right now? Well, I can't tell you that exactly because it's funny, after all of this time now, I still don't quite understand the podcast metrics that they give me. But what I do know and I do understand is that I am currently thrilled that I have like less than 200 downloads each time, because I do know that they have told me that puts me anything over 109 downloads each episode puts me in the top 25% of all podcasts. So yeah, that's amazing, right? And I am super proud of that accomplishment, especially because my target audience is moms of teens and preteens and college students, right? Oh, and my dad. We can't forget my dad. He's my most loyalist of listener. So it's a pretty niche audience that I have. So the fact that I get to top 25% is amazing. I mean, I'm not Kylie Kelsey, for heaven's sake. So my goal, though, in the life I envision, that 1 million is a bit extra, but that's okay. How would I feel if I hit, I'm sorry, I should say, I messed up. How will I feel when I hit a million? Well, I will feel pretty proud of myself. I will also feel super grateful for the million people who listen to each episode. I'll probably also feel really nervous. Like all of these people, they're listening to me. What if I sound bad or if I say something dumb? Or I'd feel pressure. Like they're entrusting me to give them good information, good content. And that is a big responsibility. So that is how I envision that milestone making me feel. I asked you also then, what would you do when it happened? So, what would I do? Well, I would tell the people who care and who take an interest. So, like my family and my close friends, and y'all, of course. And I guess I would just keep going. I'd keep working. I'd keep writing and recording and promoting my work and spreading my message. I would probably work out and go to Starbucks for a celebratory coffee. And I would probably order myself a little something online, a present for my achievement. And then the last part that I asked you when I said it was the hard question, right? Are you grateful for what you have now? Yes. Yes, I am. So say it's 150 downloads, which is probably, I think it's probably a little conservative, but I am not 100% sure of that. It could just be like 10 people, including my dad. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding. I can read numbers at least that much. So what would I do? Or I guess, what have I done whenever I get a notification that says like, hey, congratulations, you published your 150th episode, or congratulations, your episode reached 100 downloads, or your podcast is in the top 50% or top 25% of podcasts, or whenever I get a nice little message from a listener or whatever it is. I always tell my family for sure. I probably don't tell my friends enough. I am super lucky to have a little circle of friends who would be totally excited for me. So I really should do that more. I do know that I have mentioned my achievements here to y'all at various times. Am I grateful for my current life, for my current achievements? Absolutely. 100%. Is it a million people? No, but it's 150. 150 people devote their time each episode to listening to my podcast. That means I am helping 150 people to find the best version of themselves each week. I'm giving 150 people information that they can use to make their families happier and more peaceful. I mean, how many people are lucky enough to get to say that? I am so very grateful for the opportunity to do that each week. I am so grateful for the listeners who come back each week. I am so grateful that they entrust me, that you entrust me to guide you and to value the information that I have been fortunate enough to gather over the years. And along those lines, I am grateful for the opportunity to even have been exposed to this information myself. And I'm grateful that I pushed myself through my own fears and my own doubts to even do this in the first place. So yes, suspending my disbelief, the life that I want includes getting my message out, getting this information out to, what would that be, like 10,000 times the people who I talk to now. But even if I had that audience, I don't think anything would change in my level of gratitude at all. So what's the life that you want? If you suspend your disbelief and you take away the doubts and the excuses and the narratives that are inside your head telling you otherwise, what is the life that you want? If you were given that life right now, how would it make you feel? What would you do? How grateful would you be for that life? And then the hardest question of all, are you that grateful for your life right now? Because in The Magic, the author says the best statement. She says, gratitude is something you must have before you receive, not simply something you feel after something good happens. And I just love that. It's really easy to feel gratitude when we receive what we want. But in order to even set ourselves up to receive that, we need to be thankful for what we already have. It's basic law of attraction manifestation, right? Envision what you want and how you would feel having it, experiencing that gratitude. And the easiest way to do that is to feel that gratitude right now. Gratitude for what you do have. Gratitude attracts gratitude. Like attracts like. Good old manifesting, law of attraction. Gosh, even with talking about this now, we haven't had a law of attraction conversation in a minute. So I need to get on top of that. We need to do that soon. But for now, we will just stick with using our gratitude to attract more gratitude, appreciating our current life to attract the one we desire. Well, as I am dreaming of attracting like a million of y'all's closest friends, let me remind you, I am so grateful for you being here today and always. So please share the show with apparently everyone you know, because if I divide that million up amongst y'all, you have got some work to do. So you better get spreading it. Find me on socials. It's Reframing Me everywhere. And until next time, be well and communicate.